The Rated R Sportscast. I would say the number one rated sportscast on the Two Shots Network. But I think Painting Corners and Live from the 815 and the Two Shots podcast have a little bit of edge on me because now I'm starting from the bottom again, which perfectly fine, perfectly fine. I will regain the number one spot on the network here pretty soon. I'm pretty sure after the next couple of episodes I'll be the number one guy again. But I am your host, Rudy Campos Jr., the Rated R Sports Star. This is the Rated R Sportscast. And Austin is not here tonight. For those of you with the baseball love and the Painting Corners love, he's not here tonight. But I am joined by the Rambassador, because that's your new nickname from here on out. The Rambassador himself, Mr. Gio. Gio, how are you doing, man? Because obviously we all know the Rams didn't show up to Super Bowl 53. Are you okay? Was there any type of suicide watch or anything?
Well, thank you for having me on, Mr. Rudy. But no, there was no suicide watch. It was actually funny. I was watching the game at my hotel room because I went to New York for a little bit, and obviously it wasn't the outcome that I wanted. It was 3-3 heading into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Unfortunately, offensively, the Rams did not capitalize that. So that was definitely disappointing. But, I'm proud of my team. We got to this point, and, obviously you want to win that big game. But I thought I would be very upset and on suicide watch. But I didn't. I was actually okay with the outcome. It sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, but,
yeah,
it's something that is kind of part of sports fans. And unfortunately, the past few years, as a Georgia fan, we've lost to Alabama twice, and now my Rams have lost in the Super Bowl. So
how can you be a Georgia fan and your team is the Rams? I mean, I'm a Falcon fan, which I don't like to admit all the time. I'm a Falcon fan. How are you not a Falcon fan?
Well, Rudy, so this is the thing. So when I moved to Florida from New York, one of the first college football games I ever watched was Georgia versus Florida. And get a hold of this. I did not want to move to Florida. So out of spite, I said, well, I don't want to root for Florida because I don't even want to be here. So I actually rooted for Georgia. And ever since then, it kind of just stuck with me. So
wow,
as strange as it is, I've been a Georgia fan since 2001, I believe. So
nice. Yeah. And Georgia doesn't have bad football teams. I mean, they're really competitive year in and year out in the SEC. So, I could see how you could become a Georgia fan and stay with them. They've had good players coming out. Todd Gurley, who we're gonna say it again. He didn't even show up to the Super Bowl 53. He didn't show up the last 5 weeks of the season. So
yeah.
You also have Nick Chubb, and these guys coming out. What, Sony Michel was from there too, right?
Yeah. No, he.
Sony Michel.
They got some good players coming out.
Yeah, they produce a lot of good running backs. But yeah, the Super Bowl hangover. Just my thoughts on it. Brady is obviously, to me, he's obviously the GOAT. We talked about that on our last show with Austin. He is the GOAT in the NFL. 6 rings. I think he's tied with Charles Haley for the most rings by any player in the NFL. So, yeah, I mean, that pretty much makes him the GOAT in my opinion. I think he's actually going to win maybe 2 more because I think he's going to play up to 45 is what he said. I think that's another 4 or 5 years. There's no way to discount Tom Brady at all. So I'm going to give him another 2 more Super Bowl wins, put him at 8, obviously makes him the GOAT, makes him the greatest quarterback to ever play the game. Tom Brady, I'm not, giving you a blowjob or anything, but I am stroking your 6th finger, well, your 11th finger technically. So, so he got 1, he got 5 for the hand and 1 for the Peter. And that's Tom Brady. I mean, he's the GOAT. So I don't think you can disagree with that.
No, I know. I thought, Tom didn't have maybe the greatest game of the Super Bowl because, Rudy, I thought the Rams defense played very, very well. And, the defense was a liability for most of the season. But, Wade Phillips, give him 1 game, and that defense only gave up 3 points to the fourth quarter. So, Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, hopefully he wasn't on those PEDs in that game. I guess we'll find out maybe sometime next year. But
and that's actually going to go for the next show, Pete. Because I want to get a person in here that I truly know Never used PEDs, but he has a uh, really big opinion on that kind of stuff. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
to get him on here for that PED talk because he was pretty pissed off to know that Edelman was okay to play in the Super Bowl and didn't get banned X number of games or years like baseball players do.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think if I'm correct, he was using them during his injury, but
Yeah.
cases you still use them. But hey, man, Tom Brady had a great game. Uh, the
Yeah.
Rams offense just didn't show up, and the Rams defense hung in there as much as it could, but uh, no one thought the game would be 3-3 in the fourth quarter. I mean, that to me,
Yeah, you can't disprove the Rams defense. They did all they could. They did their part. So
yeah, it did their part. So for Sean McVay, it's back to the drawing board, and it's going to be interesting how this team kind of try to come back and get to this point next year, which is always a difficult task.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm expecting the Rams to be a scary team year in year out from here on out. So I see plenty more Super Bowl opportunities. At least you've got Super Bowls under your belt that you can say you won. Unfortunately, the two Super Bowl appearances from the Falcons, they just sucked ass as they always do year in year out. So, speaking of sucking ass, I know we've got our boss Joe Garcia. He's big time with Spurs and all that stuff. And I'm gonna try to be very very nice on the podcast while talking about the dumpster fire that is the San Antonio Spurs. They are on their yearly rodeo road trip. They're 0-4. They just dropped a game to the Jazz. I think one stat that I saw was they have given up 125 points in the last 4 games or 5 games at least. This team is, the best way I can describe this team is like a girl you meet, and I'm gonna go on a limb. It's a girl you meet on maybe Tinder or something. You go out. It looks good on paper.
Maybe POF.
Well, yeah, something like that. Which is the one to swipe? I'm an old man. I'm like 39 years old, so I'm fucking old. What is the one where you swipe right, swipe left? Is that Tinder? Is that what that is?
Yes, I believe. Now I've been out of the game for a while, though. I do believe.
No. Yeah, no. I'm not saying you use it. I mean, I don't know. I'm like I said, if Austin was here, Austin would tell me.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna go with Tinder. Yeah, you look at the Spurs and you see the roster and you're like, you're gonna swipe right. You want to date with them. You want to go out with them because they look good. So what happens at the beginning of the season is just like the beginning of a date, of a relationship. The Spurs, they did okay. They were on fire. You were kind of testing the water with them, and you went out on the date. And you know what? She gave you a hug. She gave you a kiss, and it was sweet. It was nice. Then all of a sudden you get that phone call and you get that second date, and it's like fire, man. And that's the same thing with the Spurs. They started off slow. You got a little hug because they were winning, and they were still losing, so you didn't know quite what to expect. Then they went on fire.
You on in.
Well, yeah, they go what, like 15? They win 15 out of like 18 or 19 games. So I mean, you're like, wow, this is fantastic. This is gonna work out. We're gonna have a great relationship. This time, you go on the date. She basically well, how I'm gonna put it this? I gotta put it the rated R way, obviously. Basically, you go on a second date and she grabs your junk and she grabs your ass and gives you tongue, and you're thinking, that's 15 out of 19 wins. I'm going up to the top 5 in the Western Conference. This is going to be awesome.
Yep.
Then lately, and then the rodeo road trip, and then the games previous to the rodeo road trip, you don't get a call back.
They're not getting anything done.
What the hell's going on? I'm waiting for her to call. I'm texting her. I'm calling her. I'm sending her messages on Facebook. I'm shooting her tweets, and I don't get no response. And that's exactly what the Spurs are. They are that girl that is not responding to anything. And if you look at their play, I mean, their play has just been shitty. It's been horrible defense. And you can give me the entire spiel about, well, DeMar DeRozan isn't playing well, which he isn't. You can give me the entire spiel. Well, LaMarcus Aldridge is an all-star. You know what? He's not an all-star. I don't even know how he made the all-star team. The only player on the Spurs who's actually playing worth a damn is Rudy Gay. And that's kind of sad when you have your third best option become your first option. And the other thing too is the fact that they don't have a point guard again. When the Spurs were in the beginning of the season, they were flirtatious. They didn't have a point guard, but they still made it work. They get Derek White back. Once they got Derek White back, you're having sex on every date you go on because it's good. They're playing hot. They're playing great. Derek White goes down. You don't have a point guard again. What happens? It's cold. You don't get the call back. So I'm seeing this happen and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? Well, where it stands is you don't have a good team. You have a mediocre team. You don't have a defensive team because they were the best defensive team. They were good. They were getting better when they had Derek White, a point guard. Now you're asking Brent Forbes, Patty Mills, these guys to run the point again. They're not true point guards. They cannot defend. They couldn't defend a trash can. So, I mean, we're expecting them to defend the best point guards in the West. Well, I'm going to give you the floor here because as you can tell, I'm pretty pissed off at this team to the point where I really don't watch Spurs games anymore. It's not worth it to me. But what are you seeing?
Yeah, Rudy, this team, I think this is what we're going to be seeing the entire season. You're going to see highs, you're going to see lows, but unfortunately, the team just isn't really playing very well. And, as a Spurs fan, as a diehard Spurs fan for many years, I'm pretty content, Rudy. I'm pretty content where this team is at, and it's just very mediocre. It's a team that at times looks very, very good, and at times they'll get blown out by 20-something points, and you're just wondering, well, where's the defense? Where is that aggressiveness that we've seen in past years, and you're not going to see it. They don't really have anyone that can really set the tone defensively. I mean, they have some pieces here and there, but the Spurs right now, they're really missing that anchor. And LaMarcus Aldridge, as good as he is, he didn't make an all-star team. I just don't think that he can be that quote-unquote anchor at least every single night, like a Tim Duncan, like a David Robinson. And they're really just lacking that. And I'm not seeing, especially last night against Utah, where the game early on, they could have a chance to win that game and it just got away from them. And DeMar DeRozan, he played okay last night. I think he had around 23 points, but they need more from him. They need more from everybody to step up, and you need to be consistent. And this Rodeo Road Trip was a great opportunity for this team to kind of be headed in a really, really good direction. And now you lose a few in a row, and now it's really looking like a team that, to me, like I said in the beginning of the year, it's probably going to be a 7th or 8th seed in the West, and I won't be surprised if they don't make the playoffs. If they're not consistent enough.
The playoffs, man. They're not making. I think giving them the 7th or 8th seed is actually a bonus for them. They are not going to make the playoffs. I'm going to just say it now. If they go 0-8 on this Rodeo Road Trip, that's a major setback.
Well, they still have the Knicks, right?
Yes, they still have the Knicks, I believe. They still got to go to Toronto. I mean, come on, they're not going to win they're not going to win these 4 games. I have, I mean, I don't know, man. I have more confidence in Stevie Wonder driving me to the airport than I do the Spurs winning these next games. I mean, I have zero confidence in this entire team right now. But, what I do have confidence in is I have a lot of confidence in the fact that I really, really hate Kevin Durant and LeBron James, like big time. Kevin Durant came out recently and said he's better than LeBron James because he beat LeBron in the NBA Finals. Well, yeah, LeBron decided to join Wade and Bosch, create a super team, get his first couple of rings. Kevin Durant, he basically pussied out of Oklahoma City and, was saying that, hey, I'm going to just join Golden State and do this and that, do this and that. Well, I mean, come on, Kevin. You've got to understand. You cannot call out LeBron James and say you're better than him when all you did was write the coattails of Steph Curry,
big
Klay Thompson. Yeah, I mean, LeBron had to work for it because he didn't win the first year he was there in Miami. They lost to the Mavericks.
Yeah.
So he did have a loss, and actually he had a few losses under his belt in Miami. Kevin Durant has yet to experience, or has he? They lost to the Cavs, right, when he was there?
You mean LeBron's first year in Miami?
No. When Durant was the first year with the Warriors, They lost to the uh,
No, I think they. No, I
I
think they
need to
won
figure
that
that
year,
out.
right?
They might either. I want to say I don't know. I have to look that up. But
I think
uh,
they won that year.
the one thing is Durant thinks he's really good, and he's really not great. He's not what he is. Durant couldn't get it done in Oklahoma City. They had a really good opportunity in Oklahoma City. They lose to Golden State. Durant says, "Fuck it, I'm going to go join Steph Curry. I'm going to go join Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. I'm going to go get a better coach than Steve Kerr." Oh well, in that case, of course you're going to consider yourself the best player in the league over LeBron James because you have more help around you than LeBron James does at the time because LeBron was in Cleveland and yeah, he had Kyrie Irving, but you can't compare Kyrie Irving, to a Steph Curry. Kyrie Irving is a dominant point guard. He dominates the ball. He can penetrate to the lane. Overall, if you give me the one or two, I think Kyrie is a better point guard. But then you go to a guy like Kevin Love. You mean to tell me Kevin Love is a better player than Klay Thompson? Not
No,
really.
no,
Kevin
hell
Love
no.
sucks. I mean, Kevin Love's horrible. Then you go Tristan Thompson, J.R. Smith. I mean, LeBron didn't have anything to work with. Kevin Durant went to a self-made team, and then of course, we're not going to forget this year they had DeMarcus Cousins. So, I mean, he's going to talk all the shit he wants, and it's for nothing. You're just making yourself look worse and worse. I'd rather him go to the Wizards, because he's from Washington. Go lead those guys to the playoffs and to the finals, and try to get it done. I mean, do something with your NBA career to make yourself look better. LeBron did that. Everybody bitched and moaned about LeBron going to Miami. Well, fine. He got his rings. He went back to Cleveland and brought a championship there. So you know what, LeBron, you get a pass on that whole Miami thing.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this whole situation with Kevin Durant and LeBron James, and I know LeBron just got a ton of heat when he left Cleveland the first time around to go to Miami, but he went to a team that wasn't very good. Kevin Durant went to a team that was in the NBA Finals, a team that won, what, 72, 73 wins, Rudy?
Yeah, it was like 73, I think.
A team that beat you, a team that was down 3-1, beat you to go to the NBA Finals. You joined that basketball team. And then when he joins them, he has some type of chip on his shoulder when he gets to the Warriors. And then, he's doing things that's kind of uncharacteristic that we haven't seen when he was in Oklahoma City. He's talking more, he has more of a swag. And to be honest with you, as great of a pretty good scorer that he is, he's no LeBron James. If you would take LeBron James from last year and put Kevin Durant in that team with Cleveland, they don't make the NBA Finals. Plain and simple. They don't get to the championship. So, Kevin Durant, I get the feeling that he wants another opportunity to prove himself. So potentially, I've been hearing in the Knicks, I've been hearing other teams, maybe the Lakers will go too, though that would be also teaming up with another great player. So Kevin Durant, he had that outburst the other day. I'm not sure if you saw it, Rudy, with the media, where he's getting out of control again. And, he wants so hard to be better than LeBron James, but truthfully, he's not. He's a great scorer. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the guy can score with the best of them, but as a team player, as a leader, when you're up 3-1 against the Golden State Warriors, you get that done. You get to the finals and you win, and he hasn't done that. So these two championships with the Warriors, hey, it's great, but seriously, man, he joined a 73-win team. 73 wins.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, I saw the whole media blow up by Kevin Durant, and again, it's another entitlement thing. I've said it before. All these players now, they all feel entitled. I'm not going to answer questions from you because you pissed me off or you said something wrong. Well, fuck you, man. The media has the right to ask you what they want to ask you. You have the right not to answer. I get that. You don't have to answer it, but quit being a fucking dick all the time about it. Grow some balls. People are going to say things a lot worse than what the media are when it comes to, hurting your feelings. You hear worse stuff. And the thing that he attacked, like he goes after fans and everything, that's part of the game. I mean, that's from day one. Yeah. When you go to college, everything like that. Fans are going to taunt you. Fans are going to talk shit to you.
Well,
You
Rudy,
have
he's also going on Instagram and having messages and having battles with fans who are calling
yeah,
him out on Instagram. Seriously?
yeah, dude. I mean, he's a little baby. I wish I could call him more, but I'm pretty sure I'll get called out, by him one day, or someone's gonna tag me and him on Twitter and something. Because I don't mind. I'll get into it with him. I don't really care. He's nothing to me. At the end of the day, he's a multi-millionaire, probably gonna be a billionaire, and I'm still gonna be busting my ass trying to pay my bills every week. So it doesn't matter. I don't really care. I can get in a fight with him, and it doesn't really, like I said, I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. But one thing I do give a shit about is I give a shit about making everybody laugh and having a good time on the Rated R Sportscast. Sometimes we get off the rails, and we're getting off the rails now. I want to try a new segment. Normally we have the gas chamber, which I haven't had anybody new on the show to do the gas chamber. So
Yeah, I've
we're
been on there a
gonna,
lot.
yeah, and also, well, the other thing too is that we are also working on a game show for the Sportscast. So that's going to be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing that we are working on that we're going to try right now, because Gio, you are my co-host, and I really want to see how this works out.
Sure.
This is the Radar Mad Libs section of the podcast here. I'm going to give you a couple of options here. We got a few minutes left. So, what type of genre would you like? Now, you can pick between. Let's see. You can pick between sports. Obviously, we're a sportscast. I can give you romance. I can give you entertainment. We can do, let's see, what's another one here? Comedy, action, adventure. What is on your mind right now? I hope you don't say sports, but what's on your mind right now? What do you want to tackle?
What's on my mind? Let's go with let's go with entertainment. Let's go with
entertainment. That's never a bad
actors.
thing.
Movies. Whatever music. And that whole genre there, I guess. Yeah, it's fine. Go ahead.
All right. Well, this is the way the Mad Libs is gonna work. Now, I'm not gonna tell you the subject. I'm not gonna tell you anything like that. Basically, I'm just gonna ask you the questions. I'm gonna type them into the Mad Lib reader here, and we're gonna go from there. So that's how this is gonna work. I'm going at random. I have no really idea what I'm gonna pick or anything like that. So you said entertainment. Some of these things I don't know, so we'll just put whatever. If we don't know what it is, just put whatever you want in there.
Right.
So the first things first. I need an animal, but it has to be plural, and you can get as crazy as you want. So if it asks for a noun, you can put penises or asses or something like that. So get pretty crazy, though. I mean, this isn't Sesame Street here. This is rated R stuff, obviously. So. But animal plural animals. We got what, monkeys and all this other shit. So whatever you want, you tell me what you want.
So all right. Well, it's plural.
Yeah, just pick an animal. We can make it plural.
How about ass? I mean, it's
Ass.
an animal, but
So you want to say asses then?
yeah.
Okay, we can do asses. The next one, we need an adjective from you. So obviously an adjective is, you describing something.
All right. Jesus Christ. Where do you get these topics from, Rudy?
I don't think he can help you on this. So
An adjective. How about sexy?
sexy. Okay. Now this one says a verb-based form. So if you're not an English major, like I'm not, I slept through English all, 12 years of school and stuff. So, a verb-based form, I guess just give me a verb. I don't really give a shit. We're just trying this out for the first time. I want to see how the fans respond, because then I want to put them out for the fans to do.
A freaking verb. Man, I haven't took English in years. Son of a bitch, man.
Wouldn't banging be a verb? Like a verb-based form? We're gonna have to get with the boss at the end of this, because he's like way smarter than we are. So
Yeah, let's go with banging. I mean, whatever.
yeah, it's an ad lib. Who cares? Number. I need a number from you.
A number?
Yeah, any number.
69.
69. I love it. Now I need a noun, but I need a plural noun. So this is where, you You said asses earlier. We're gonna consider those donkeys. So noun plural. I mean, whatever you can come up with. We need to get some noun plurals in here.
So obviously more than one. How about chickens?
Chickens. I'll tell you what. Let's reverse this. We're gonna put asses on noun plural, and up top we'll go with chickens as the animal.
It's a fucking chicken ass.
Possibly, yeah. I need another noun plural. So whatever you got on you, man. You've got asses as one noun plural. So let's do one more noun plural.
How about a tit?
All right, we'll put tits on there. Because you got to make it plural. Now I need an adverb. You know what an adverb is?
Jesus Christ, Rudy! I didn't know this was going to be a damn English.
This is not an English. That's why I said if you don't know what it is, what we can do is this is kind of like the way I wanted to do this because it's going to show how smart we are. And we're not going to lie. We're pretty dumb motherfuckers here. We're not going to lie on that. So I mean adverbs. You can have adverb of manner. It's like angry, happily, easily, sadly.
Yeah.
Places are near there, here, somewhere, inside, outside.
How about grossly?
Like grossly.
Yeah,
Sure, why not? Grossly, that's fine. And then I need a past tense verb.
A past tense verb. All right.
Yeah. Again, we are trying the ad lib version of the Rated R Sportscast here. We're going to add different segments for all the fans out there. Fans, I want to get them interacting and all this stuff, but we want to try it here first. So, yeah, verb past tense.
Verb that's a past. Obviously, it's going to have ed.
I want to try this. Let me do the verb past tense.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're going to use coming.
Oh my god!
And then I need a verb-based form. The same thing what we did earlier with banging. So, how about
sleeping?
Like sleeping? We can do sleeping. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and plug all this in. We're coming up towards the end of the show here. We're gonna plug all this in here. Now, the subject that you got in entertainment was Avengers: Infinity War.
Oh shit!
So let's see how your ad libs. Let's see how it plays out for Avengers: Infinity War. Here we go. As the Avengers and their allies have continued to protect chickens from threats too sexy for one hero to handle, a new danger emerged from the cosmic shadows. Thanos, a despot of intergalactic infamy. His goal is to banging all 69 Infinity Stones, artifacts of unimaginable power, then use them to inflict his twisted will on all chickens. Everything the Avengers have fought for has led up to the moment. The fate of asses and tits has never been more uncertain. 2 years after the Avengers were grossly coming during the Captain America Civil War, Thanos arrives on Earth. The Avengers must join forces with the Guardians of the Galaxy to sleeping him before his onslaught of destruction puts an end to chickens.
Wow.
That came out a lot better than I thought it would.
Yeah, actually, it actually did.
That is pretty damn awesome there. So that is the first ad lib segment that we've had on the Rated R Sportscast, and it was an Avengers Infinity War one. We're going to probably do this more. I like the gas chamber a lot for the newer guys, but we might be doing this Mad Lib for a few more shows as well. We've got Austin, Chris Galler, producer Galler is going to be joining us on a few shows as well. We'll have other guests. I'm pretty sure the boss Joe Garcia may make an appearance here and there. I can only imagine what kind of shit he's going to put on these Mad Libs if I give it to him.
Yeah, well, if you give it up to Joe, you're going to have a lot of strange R. Kelly, honey. What's the lady's name?
Honey Boo Boo is what he said. Yeah.
He's going to have some references to those because those are some of his favorites. So
I'm curious to see if they have any R. Kelly Mad Libs. We're going to have to look up. But yeah, that's the segment I wanted to try. I'm actually pretty glad I tried it with you because it came out pretty damn funny.
I think the world came up to about tits.
Thank God the Avengers are going to protect all the asses and tits in the world from Thanos. Anyway, man, we got on the sportscast here for a little while. It was a pretty quick show that we normally run. So I loved it, every second of it. We add the Mad Libs to it. I appreciate you, Gio, for coming on. Give everybody the opportunity to hear where they can find you at, like Twitter, Facebook, everything like that, so they can follow Coach Gio.
Well, you can obviously find me on the Rated R podcast and also the Two Shots podcast as well. And you can also find me on Twitter at Coach Gio 56. And if you want to follow me on Facebook as well, it's Giovanni Aponte on Facebook. So it's pretty simple on there. But yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And, ladies, don't just friend him because he is taken. And that would not be a good thing. So, yeah, don't just friend him because of his looks. The guy is a stud. So, but. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. I'm sorry about the Rams losing again, but everybody loses to Brady sometime. I know we did. I mean, the Falcons did.
Yeah, not everyone can be Eli Manning, and throw a Hail Mary down the field.
Yeah, big old waterhead underneath that helmet of his. But yeah, you can find us at the Rated R Sportscast on Facebook. We are on Anchor as well as other platforms. I know Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, I think, is another one. We're on a few other platforms out there. My name is Rudy Campos Jr. If you didn't catch it in the beginning, I am the Rated R Sports Star, also the host of the Rated R Sportscast. You can find me at Rated_R Podcast on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook, the Rated R Sportscast Facebook page. Go on there, give us a like. We are starting to put everything out on Anchor for everybody. Be sure to follow us. Be sure to spread the love out there so we can get a lot of more people listening to us. And I really appreciate y'all for joining us tonight. We are looking forward to the next segment, which I guarantee you is going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know yet about what's going to happen on the Sportscast. Also, don't forget the last episode we had, Austin Hartsfield. He is going to do a 4-minute rendition of the Star Spangled Banner. Or no, not Star Spangled, the National Anthem. Is it the same thing? Probably the same thing. National Anthem. Much. Yeah, so he's going to do a 4-minute rendition of the National Anthem. If he can do it in under 4 minutes by 10 seconds or over 4 minutes by 10 seconds, I'm going to personally make a donation to any charity of his choice, which he did tell me which one it was. So we'll find out if Austin can actually do it. I don't think he can. He's already practiced a few times. And let's just say it's just a total filler. He's around.
Well, I don't think it's going to come out as good as you think it does. But let's not underestimate Austin. Let's give him the benefit.
No. Let's not underestimate him. But before we go, you can find Austin Hartsfield. He does the Painting Corners podcast. It's a very successful baseball podcast. Yeah, right now they're releasing a lot of summer stuff. Well, not summer, but a lot of off-season stuff for baseball teams. They're doing individual teams, giving you basically, insight on all the teams. You can also join the guys from the Live with the 815, Colton and those guys. That is always a hoot. That's fun as hell every time I listen to it. And then you have Joe Garcia, the boss. He's the Two Shots podcast. They talk a lot about Spurs right now, but also Joe's really good about talking about other things in the sports world, stuff that.
And he's also going to be doing the Two Shots R. Kelly podcast as well. So.
Yeah, he's going to the Two Shots R. Kelly. I would love to get that one down. Probably have like pee going all over the place or everything. But yeah, you can find Joe Garcia, the Two Shots podcast as well. We also have Carolina Teague, who's going to be starting her own podcast. I can't remember the name offhand, but that new podcast will be coming up as well. You can find all of us on Facebook at the Two Shots Network page. Just go on there, you'll find us all there. You can find our podcast and everything there. So for Gio, for the Rambassador, this is Rudy Campos Jr., the Rated R Sports Star, saying goodbye. Love you guys. Hope you enjoy it. We will see you next time. And I'm telling you right now, if you're a Spurs fan, watch the Commanders. They're way better than the Spurs. They're going to be better than the Spurs.
Rest in peace, Spurs.
Yeah, rest in peace, Spurs. So with that in mind, thank you guys for joining. Peace.